Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to be back with our Profit Like It's Hot summer webinar series. I haven't seen all of you in a while. The summit came and went like a whirlwind and left us with just a ton of work, which we're so thrilled to have that ton of work. Don't get me wrong, but I opted out of doing one for the first quarter so I could get all my work done anyways. Uh, After the summit, which I hope all of you did too. I hope all of you really grabbed up one or two strategies and implemented them after the summit. Speaking of Summit, 2026 is already up and running. You can get your tickets. They are the lowest price available right now. They're $350. Check your emails. You all got emails about it. If not, if you say, Heather, I just cannot find this email, I have no idea what you're talking about, or if you don't know what I'm talking about ever, feel free to email me and I can give you all of those details. Okay, so I think I got all of that out of the way. I am so thrilled to be here today. We have George, I will not butcher his last name, from Avalon Healthcare. He is going to be chatting with us about a new RX card, and just stick with me. Don't hop off and log out now. This card is designed for you in mind. It's different than the others. George is going to go into that. George, thank you so much for being with us. Welcome to the Profit Like It's Hot summer webinar series.
Well, Heather, thank you. And to everybody, I am honored to be here. I have followed Diversify for many times, and this is kind of a little bit of a bucket list thing for me. So to get through housekeeping, my last name is Kowalski. It is equivalent to Polish Smith, and we'll just go with that. And we'll go from there. So I am a pharmacist. I have been a pharmacist for more years than I will admit to. And I started out in independent pharmacy. That was my bread and butter. I was cleaning shelves in my mom and dad's store in East Windsor, New Jersey when I was 10. And so that's where I learned that the large sizes always go on the right. Even though I'm left-handed, I worked with it and I moved on. So having owned pharmacy, I've done that. I've also been the VP of pharmacy at a couple of different places. Did a stint in compliance, did a stint in managed care as well. And I currently work for the fine folks at Avalon Healthcare. And one of the reasons that brought me to them was they decided that they wanted to do a discount card, but they wanted to do something different. We want to it not be my RX card. We wanted it to be the pharmacy's card. Mm-hmm. And so we are a very small company. We've only got 8 individuals who work with us. We work very hard. And so when you work with us, you're working with the founders and owners. Mm-hmm. And, so there's not a laundry list of people when you call. We have an 800 number, which I thought made us seem so big, but in reality, you get Carolina and you get Carolina each and every time. But what makes us different, and you're all rolling your eyes going, another pharmacy discount card. I get it. I have been dealing with pharmacy discount cards for probably about the past 20 years. And what makes this one different is flexibility, and the fact that it is a lower cost and a better value to the pharmacies. So when they brought me on to help them structure this, what I said was, we can't have admin fees the way that we've got them out there. An $8 admin fee doesn't work. And I was the one that was responsible for P&L. We have to make it flexible. We can't have a set formulary. We can have one, and we do. But most of our clients design their own formulary. With our help, they ask us what should we include? So yeah, we'll include your top 20, and we do the research. We know what the average price is, that kind of thing, and we'll make you competitive. But we also want to make sure that if you don't want a GLP-1, or if you don't want to price out something else, we'll just eliminate it and it won't be on your formulary. So you win, and you're not going to take a hit on that. If you want to include flu shots, great. We'll include flu shots. You don't want to include flu shots? That's fine too, whatever you want. And then we help you with pricing. You've got to remain competitive. And right off the bat, our admin fees are half the price of what you're paying out there. So right off the bat, you're adding in value and margin right to your bottom line even before we discuss all the other things that we can talk about. So, in addition to the formulary, in addition to the flexibility of pricing, we will give you a website free of charge. You can call it Heather's Pharmacy. You can call it Lisa's Pharmacy. You can call it George's Pharmacy. You can call it your name, and we'll brand it for you. And then we'll also allow you to put your messaging on there as well. This is why we're different. Because again, we don't necessarily want to be the face. These are your customers. These are not our customers.
Right, right. Let me, I did miss something in housekeeping in the beginning is if you have any questions, this is an open
Oh, absolutely.
conversation. If you have any questions, friends, feel free to pop them in the chat. I will ask George. We can ask him as we're going. Feel free to do that now. You don't have to wait till the end. So George, I'm sorry,
No, no,
I
no, no, no.
missed that at the beginning. So let me just clarify one thing here though, because you say website, it's actually a landing page that you can add to your website. So
Yes,
this isn't
absolutely.
a brand new, they're not giving away websites, although how fantastic would that be? But it's a landing page that has all the information so your customers can go and see what you're doing while they're at home on your website. Is
Yeah.
that's
So if
correct?
you've got, yeah, if you've got your own site that highlights your business, it's another landing page on there. We can do a link, however you want to do it, and it'll have all your branding on it. Or if
Mhm.
you don't want that, we'll just use my RX card. Not all that hard at all.
Now, tell me a little bit. Let's go back to, or let's go into a little bit, why branding it for the pharmacies is important. What makes that so special?
Because you're not going to be part of the national right off the bat. You're not going to be part of the national players, and we all know who they are.
Mhm.
So that sets you aside, number one. Number two, branding, as you know, because you put it on your bags, you put it on everything, you put it on your window out front, that breeds loyalty. And folks will come back. So if you put your name on a card, people are going to come back. We all know what CVS did to certain insurance cards early on, when they bought Caremark, they put the CVS logo on it. Even though that they could go to other pharmacies, everybody thought, "Oh, I can only go to CVS." Well, why can't that work for us too? Why can't
Right.
that work for all of you? We put your name on it. That starts loyalty. Where people, well, I've got to go back to John's pharmacy.
Right, right. And this kind of goes into what you were educating me about is we have a question, how do you set prices for patients? Number one, which I think we can go back to, but are you competitive with GoodRx Cost Plus? And then another one, well, we'll go into that. How competitive are you with GoodRx and Cost Plus?
So we consider ourselves, because if we have lower fees, we can be competitive with them. GoodRx is charging you $6, $8, even $10 admin fee. When you factor in the whole picture, you're going to be your patients will still get the value because again, you are going to help us determine that for you. We
Mhm.
have an ultra competitive formulary. We have a competitive formulary. We have a pseudo competitive formulary. You take your pick. And what I would do in those particular cases is you give us some drugs, we'll price them for you. And if you like that one, if that aligns with your strategy, we'll use that one.
Mm. Okay.
If you decide that you want to price one particular drug one particular way, you call me up or you call Carolina, we'll change that price for you on the fly.
Okay, so to answer the question, I think you just did how to set prices for patients. It's very custom to
Yes.
your pharmacy. And so what does that look like, George? I call you and say, "Hey George, I'd like to let's set some prices." And you say, "Okay, Heather, let's get into it." So
Let's
do I give you a list my wish list? Gosh, I couldn't talk. Wish list, or is this something where you send me, or maybe both, send me, okay, Heather, these 10 drugs, pick whichever ones you want. How does that strategy call or that strategy process look?
So it starts with the information you provide. What are the drugs that you want to price? And if it's 5, 10, 25, 50, whatever it is, we'll price them. I will look to see what they are in the market and then allow you to go, yep, I'll do this, I'll do that. I need to be here on this. I need to be here on that one because that's what my competitors down the street are doing.
Mm.
Those type of things. We can look at it by drug. We can look at it as a group. A lot of people like to aggregate their rates. I want to make 36% on my overall discount card business. That requires a little bit more analytical work on our part, but we can do that.
Okay. All right.
And so we want to be flexible and we have the ability to do that.
Okay. Another question. How is this different from AXRX Pharmacy Loyalty Program and Blink
Blink
RX?
RX.
Yeah.
Blink RX. They're doing some things similar. Blink, I know, is they're not as competitive as we are on fees.
Okay.
They do allow some flexibility with some um, landing pages, but they charge you.
Okay.
There's a fee for that one. And what was the other one? Axe?
Yeah, AXRX, which is a partner of ours. I could, if I could link you guys up and you can chat about what makes you guys special and different, and then
Yeah, I would
we
love to
can
have
add
that
it in the
conversation.
show notes or whatever. They're great folks over there. Um,
Cool.
However, we know that each pharmacy is different. So
Of course. Absolutely.
one may work for another, or better for one, not the other. It's that whole thing. So
Absolutely.
so this seems very much, so we've gone past the why we want the branding. You get to pick the drugs. Now when you say you get to pick the drugs, I totally get that. But is there some sort of back end, like, Heather, you can have these 10 drugs, but you need to also add these 10 drugs? Is there any of them that are mandatory?
No,
Okay.
no. We want to make it easy. Like I said earlier, we've got a formulary, and our formulary, and I'll be candid about it. Our formulary is for mostly chronic meds. We do some antibiotics on there based on what our clients have asked us for in a standard formulary.
Okay.
I know and can appreciate that acute meds, when someone comes in for a cough or a cold and those type of things, that's where you make your money.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't want to use a discount card and always run them through. But if you have to, let's price them a little bit more aggressively. GoodRx does. So does CVS. So does Walgreens. So does everybody else. They're priced a little less aggressively. I misspoke. I apologize. Because they understand that those are margin grabbers. Those are margin generators for the pharmacy.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So let's say that I completely understand what you're saying. I am on board. I want a landing page. I'm signed on the dotted line. George, tell me exactly what's going to happen after I become one of your customers.
Love to. What's first thing's going to happen is I'm going to reach out and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to get to know each other a little bit. I'm going to want to understand your needs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to want to understand what you're looking for. We'll talk a little bit about strategy. We'll talk a little bit about your overall cash strategy. Because,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, because let's remember, discount cards are not about just discount cards. They're about your cash strategy. Because what we're seeing a lot of clients doing is moving everything over to a discount card so that they don't get dinged with any usual and customary issues, because that is a bottomless pit if you start matching prices to other companies without running it through a card, because then your UNC is in jeopardy, and with your Medicaid, you cannot afford to do that. So back to your question. So what happens is we're going to have a strategy discussion
Mm-hmm.
about where you want to be. If you want a website, we're going to need some logos. We're going to understand, and then and then I'll bring Trevor in, and we'll talk about how you want to design your landing page, and we can have you up and running in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We don't take a whole lot of time because we understand the value of your time. Number two, the fact that you've got to make money, and we want to be the ones to help you make more money, which is always a good thing for all of us. And then, we want to make it as simple as possible. So you asked a question earlier. What happens if I all of a sudden 2 days into it, oh my God, I'm losing money on X? Call me up, George. I need to fix this. Call me, text me, email me, whatever you want to do. We need to fix this. Okay, we'll have it done in about 5-10 minutes. Not hard. And
Okay.
so we want to be your partner. We can be your silent partner. You just call us up and say, I need this fixed, and we're done. Our turnaround times are some of our clients, in fact, some of our largest clients go, it is so easy to work with you.
Mm.
And that's what we want. And that's what the feedback we want. It's easy to work with. The value is there. And again, we just want to make it simple for you. We understand what you're going through. My experience has in the positions I've been fortunate enough to hold. I understand about what a P&L, and I understand what one prescription can do to a store's profitability, and one customer can do that. We want to give you some relief from that and give you the flexibility so you can take ownership.
I love that. I love that. What me as a pharmacist or pharmacy owner or delegating this task to another team member, what is the time requirement when we get started, and working with you going forward, that I need to work on this? What does that look like?
So what I will do is before our first conversation, I'll ask some questions. I'll provide you with some questions about strategy. And
Mm,
I may actually need some data from you. And when I say data, I might need you to price some drugs for me in your system and or price them in your system, whether it be cash or another one of your competitors you want to compare us to. So I might need that. So I think your first thing is probably going to be hour and a half all told by the
mhm,
time we chat and exchange information and we talk about our strategy. And it's really, you're going to be telling me what to do. I'm going to go back and do it. And you're going to tell me, yep, I like this. Nope,
mm.
I don't like that. Let's adjust. Let's move forward. Sure, not a problem.
Okay. And
And then
then,
just ongoing, as I
yeah,
said, check your prices. If you find you're not competitive, or if you want to be, or if you're too competitive, we can fix that too.
okay, okay. So I think that you sound fantastic. But let me throw it back to our guests, or not our guests, our members and our pharmacy badasses. Does anybody have any additional questions that Heather Harrow just doesn't know because she doesn't know, to ask George? Um, I love the fact that you guys, when I talked to you first, um, you were very open. You educated me. I feel like a team member could take this on once the owner gets the strategy set up. The team member or a team member could easily take this on and be the champion, for this pricing card, and it would be not a hard lift for a team member to take on. Do you feel that way? Do you have pharmacies that maybe the owner set up the first pricing, and then Heather, who is not a pharmacist, calls every week um, to adjust prices or ask questions, things of that nature?
Absolutely. I really don't talk to the owners anymore. We had those conversations in the beginning.
Yep.
A lot of them designated technician who understands discount cards, and we have we're on a first name basis, so to speak. And I've got her cell phone number, she's got mine, and I'll get a text, hey, can you adjust? Sure, not a problem. And it's not a heavy lift. One of the things I don't want to do, and I want to make this really clear, is the last thing on earth I want to do is give you more work.
Yeah.
Last thing on earth I want to do. I don't want to make your life difficult. I'm here to make your life easier.
Right. 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 Well, and there is some work whenever you start a new strategy, a new program. So I think everybody totally understands that. What I think happens though, and you've been really great about this, and I shared this as a frustration just from listening to our members, is that everybody says, oh, it's so easy. It's just like you're going to sign on the dotted line and you are going to just, they're going to be raining buckets of cash on your head in the pharmacy every day.
If
And
only.
and not that anybody truly believes that, or not that we have members that are dense, or like quite the opposite. They understand that each new strategy takes work. It's just refreshing to know up front the work, and you've totally given us that, so then we can plan or prepare or understand, do we want to take this strategy on this quarter, or maybe wait till next quarter? I love that in talking to you, um, that you just gave me what it takes, the work that we have to do right up front. Is there
And
anything? Oh,
I think
go
it's
ahead.
important
Sorry.
to note that your members, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think it's important to note that your members are far more engaged than a conventional pharmacy.
Yeah.
I've followed Lisa's page for many, many years, and always been impressed and have followed you guys and have always been impressed by the level of engagement and the level of knowledge and working knowledge of this group, which is why I kind of very carefully baby stepped my way into having a conversation because there's a great deal of respect. And I also have a great deal of admiration for the fact that you guys are still here in what is becoming a very volatile and competitive, what has become a very volatile and competitive environment over the past 5, 10 years. You're still here and you're still fighting the good fight on a daily basis. And you have found a way to not just survive, but to thrive. And
Yeah.
you've done
Well,
that by partnering.
yeah, well, that's it. Is at the core of, at Diversify's core, we believe that it's partners that really help take on these strategies. Lisa is a savant. We all know this. This is no secret, in strategy, in carrying the strategy out, in execution. She is the best. However, from day one, it has been about partnering, and testing partners and putting
Yes.
them on the hot seat first. And she really is a tough cookie. Oh, sorry, a tough cookie when it comes to that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is there anything, George, that I missed that you are just itching to tell us, that I have messed it all up and thrown you off course, and there was something that we needed to say about this? I mean, honestly, this seems like the easiest webinar I've had, because it just seems like it's upfront. And you tell us exactly what we're getting into, what it's like. I will, in the show notes and in when we send out the replay to this, George has given us some great top line bullet points that I'll put in there so you guys can see it. I will give you a way to contact George. It's really easy. His email, or phone number, George, or just email.
Yeah, phone number's fine.
I'll put both of those in our replay email. If you have any questions, reach out to him. He is the easiest person. He is much like Heather Harrow. He is a texting person. He is a talk on the phone person. He is quick to answer emails too. So George, from my perspective, has been very easy to work with, and I'm sure that it'll be the same for all of you. Any other questions, anybody? I see some folks in here.
Well, you're talking about that. I mean, the only thing I'll just go through, and I didn't bore everybody with a PowerPoint. I don't believe in them. I think they make me crazy, to be candid with you. But there is some information that everybody just needs to understand. The discount card market is growing. It represents about 8.5% of all transactions right now, and that's up 3.5 since the pandemic. So it is growing even bigger than we think. We think it'll be close to 3 billion by the end of this decade. Right now, it's about 1.8 in there. A couple things are going to drive that. The more high deductible plans that are out there, MEC plans, which are also minimum coverage plans, they call them MEC plans. The other thing that is going to drive people to discount cards is the Inflation Reduction Act. And I know I just said a really bad word among people, and they all groaned. It almost is as bad as saying DIR fee. But we don't say those words anymore. But from the Inflation Reduction Act, you've already seen, if you follow the blogs, you're already seeing a lot of things move off formulary, and you're going to see more and more of that as those lists expand. So discount cards are probably going to grow exponentially. What we want to encourage everybody to do is to have a strategy. And when you have that strategy, you'll be prepared. Having a discount card and a cash strategy also helps protect you from audits. Whether you like it or not, our friends at United Healthcare audits UNC. They will do UNC audits. Caremark is also doing some UNC audits, as well as your Medicaid. And if you've got a discount card and a cash strategy where you're working with a partner, that helps mitigate a lot of those potential problems down the line. So whether you use us, whether you use AXRX, whether you use Blink or any one of those others, I highly encourage you to make sure that you've got a strategy. And this group being a level and one that sets the bar way ahead of or way above everybody else. I think you're all understand the need and the necessity behind making sure that you protect yourself.
That's fantastic, and it is a customizable thing. So I encourage you just to have a chat with George. I mean, he's not going to cry if you say no. He's going to cheer if you say yes, but he's not going to cry if you say no. He won't find it a waste of time if you just have a chat with him and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, fantastic. If it does, fantastic.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, if nothing else, we'll probably learn things from each other.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yep.
So please do not hesitate and share it around, and love to have some conversations with everybody, and we go from there.
Well, I don't have any other questions. And I didn't share this with you, but it's always my goal to keep it under 30 minutes so people can get in and get out.
Yeah. And that's fine. And we are right at that time. So we've done well.
We are.
Yes.
So I will give everybody 4 minutes of their life back. Thank you guys so much for hopping in. I see familiar faces that come and are on the webinar every time we have one, and I love that. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me. I will have all of George's information, a few bullet points about his product in the replay email that will go out tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Wednesday.
Oh.
Thank you. It is Wednesday. Thank you all. Really appreciate the opportunity and look forward to speaking with everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be well.